It's a big one in the Pac-12 as the opener for both the Wildcats and the Huskies as Washington travels to Arizona. We bring in our friend Shereen Rayan from Zona Zealots to break down the Wildcats side. And Shereen, I think this is extremely impressive. I don't know how many people this week talked to both Coach Chris Petersen and Rich Rod, both sides of the ball. So that's what we really need to find out is the in-depth scoop from you concerning your conversations with both coaches and what they had to say about this matchup.
Well, Coach Rich Rodriguez has every confidence in his team that they will be able to beat the Washington Huskies. He knows they're ranked and all that, but they don't think about that. And, you know, under Rich Rod, they've won 7 out of 12 games for highly ranked opponents. So he knows his team can do whatever they want to do. And he's telling his team just, you know, hey, this is a chance. This is a chance to get recognized nationally. So get that chip and let's go out there and get that chip on your shoulder. Let's go out there and show the world that we're much better than anybody ever thought. That's on the Rich Rod side. On the Petersen side, I asked him, you know, you're the number 9 ranked nationally team coming in here. What are you saying to your guys to keep them level-headed? And he says, he was adamant. We do not look at the rankings. We do not. Rich Rodriguez has, you know, a great coaching staff. They throw surprises at you. It could go either way in my eyes. I know it's political to say that, but he was adamant. There's not one person on our staff, not one, who is looking at the ranking going into this. We are taking this very seriously. We will be focused. And he said, it won't be a problem. So, so that, you know, I got the definitive answer out of Coach Petersen, and he went at length, like it just wasn't, hey, this isn't a problem. He went on and on and on to let me know and let the world know that they are not taking this game seriously. And Rich Rod is happy it's at home. He likes the home field advantage, and he wants all the Zona Zoo to be full the whole game. All the fans need to come out, and it's Blue Day, so they have to wear blue. So our quarterback came out and told us we all have to wear blue this weekend.
Night games in Tucson are always difficult for Pac-12 opponents. And so I believe what Coach Petersen says about the mindset of the coaches and even the players, especially the veteran players, about understanding that it doesn't matter what your ranking is. There are unranked teams that defeat ranked teams every week in college football, but they know what they're ranked. There's just too much information out there on social media and otherwise. He knows what they're ranked.
Yeah, their defense is.
I understand. I believe him from the standpoint of the approach, because any coach that's been in the business long enough knows that they get tripped up by underdogs all the time. So, yeah, Arizona 7-5 since 2005 against top 10 teams at home. And Rich Rod each season has defeated at least one top 10 team. And your little nugget as well that I'd like you to share also kind of sways things in the Wildcats' favor. If you believe in things like this, the last 8 years.
Yeah, so for the last 8 years, the home team has won in this series. So if it's in Washington, Washington wins. If it's in Arizona, Arizona wins. And guess whose turn it is? It's Arizona's turn. Now, I reminded Rich Rod about that. He had a little chuckle. But, you know, I said, hey, baby, it's our turn, basically. So it is our turn. It is Arizona's turn. The team's going to come out like gangbusters. They are not going to think they cannot win. And I'll give you one little example of that. We lost our running back and our quarterback. So, well, not forever, but they're both hurt. So Brandon Dawkins has started in 2 games. He has not thrown one interception. I'm knocking on wood. Not one interception. He scored, I think, 6 to 8 touchdowns. The defense has forced 8 turnovers in the last 2 games, I believe. 8, 6 in one game. Of course, these aren't the highly ranked teams we're playing, but they come out to try to beat us just like we want to beat Washington. And we had a few freshmen step up, Tristan Cooper on defense. And on the offensive side, J.J. Taylor, who I had the pleasure of interviewing before he got to Arizona, his coaches call him Little Muscle. We're trying to come up with a different name like Ghost or Tornado. He spins while he runs, and as he's spinning, defenders are spinning off of him. And he had a 61-yard rushing touchdown. And I think Brandon came in second in rushing yards to JJ. So he is he is the news for the week, but Rich Rodriguez has a lot of these type of freshmen coming in, and you never know who he's going to throw into a game. So it's going to be fun.
Shereen, few people that we have on here give the description as aptly as you do of the plays and the players and how they perform on the field. I love it. Okay. So, yeah, Brandon Dawkins, the thing that I heard Rich Rod say after the performance against Hawaii is that he loved, for a young quarterback, the decision-making, that he made the right decisions, made the right reads, went to the right receivers. And as you mentioned, 3 rushing touchdowns in the game against Hawaii, 1 passing touchdown, very efficient, 16 of 21. So Brandon Dawkins gets the call again for his 3rd start. Nick Wilson, banged up, had a boot on for the second half, as you well know. You're all over it. J.J. Taylor, you give all the description about the way he plays, and it all totaled 168 yards against Hawaii. This Washington team's pretty good.
Yeah.
They have the sources that are closely related to information with NFL draft scouting say that they've got 7 NFL players on defense.
Yes, they do. Yeah, and Rich Rodriguez reminded his team of that. 7 NFL-ready defensive linemen, but they haven't played any big teams yet. Washington. I mean,
they haven't. No,
and I think this is the hardest they play.
Yeah, Portland State, Idaho, Rutgers, they've blasted them. So you can't look at the stats. Yeah, they're loaded on defense. Buda Baker is one of the best safeties in college football. Sidney Jones at cornerback. Azim Victor at linebacker. Yeah, Washington had probably the best defense in the Pac-12 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And
they hardly scored.
What's that?
We hardly scored against them last year. So I think it was
what, 3?
3, a field goal. Yeah. Thank you, Casey Skoron.
Yeah, so Jake Browning, a quarterback, young quarterback who's extremely impressive, true freshman last year, has picked up where he left off. The Huskies were a much better team late last season than they were early because of the freshman quarterback maturing and because Myles Gaskin, who's one of the top rushers in the Pac-12 last year, 1,300 yards. He was only a freshman last year, and he's only had 40 attempts. They've run over these teams, so they haven't needed him yet. So he's pretty fresh for this game at Arizona. So, what's your feel on this one?
I mean, I hate to say I'm a homer, but I'm a homer. I would say 70% chance of an upset, but I am predicting Washington will win. I'm so sorry, Wildcat fans. I mean, I love my Cats. But I think they have a really good chance for an upset. So I'm kind of picking like a 27-24 game. But this is Brandon Dawkins' time. He has to shine. He can show the world today. There's a lot of, I hope the nerves don't get to them, but it never seems to get to him. He's been doing a lot better. And I think that a lot of the Washington fans are underestimating our quarterback. I think I have full confidence in him. So I see an upset, but I was predicting a Washington win.
You see an upset, you're predicting a Washington win. I'm trying to weigh that out. I'm trying to figure out what that all means.
I guess I'm hedging my bet. I mean,
okay.
If you look at all the stats and you look at everything, the first thing you're going to, oh, yeah, it's a cakewalk. But I know this team and I know this coach, and I know he has a new defense that he keeps throwing. And Chris Peterson said this, that it's not the same defense that Marcel Yates has played before. So it's a new defense. So, honestly, I'm not predicting the upset, but I'd like to see it happen. How's that?
Yeah, the other point in this that I came across that's not going to make you feel real good is that Washington has a really good offensive line. They bring back 4 starters from last year, including one of the better left tackles in the conference. And Arizona's a little light up front. So that could be difficult. They could get pushed around in the trenches a little bit. So my pick's coming later today, but it seems to stack up as a Washington win. But when you've got to travel in the Pac-12, and Arizona's worked that magic before at home, especially at night, things happen.
Well, you're going from the Northwest where it's chilly and rainy to the hot, hot desert, dry heat and all that. So who knows?
All right. Shereen Rayan from Zona Zealots breaking down Washington and Arizona. Shereen, we appreciate the time.
Thank you. Go Cats. Upset those darn dogs.